Insty Connect has significantly updated their connectivity systems in targeting the RV market with a new Insty Squared system, the Insty Switchblade that is a long-range directional antenna, and a new 5G modem module that can be powered over Ethernet, meaning that it's a lot easier to use an Insty Connect with other routers such as a peplink. We've got our first hands-on look, so stay tuned. Hi, I'm Chris with the Mobile Internet Resource Center here to give you an update on Insty Connect. Now, Insty Connect is a small family-run business that has been focused on providing connectivity to the RV market, and we've been covering them since they first launched. And what makes Insty Connect unique is that rather than having the cellular gear inside and antennas outside on the roof, they combine the antennas and the modem module into one unit. So, for example, this new Insty Squared has the cellular modem right inside and then just a few 6 inches worth of antenna cables, meaning a lot less potential cable loss than if you have a more traditional router setup where you might have 25 feet of cables going from your roof down to the router inside. So Insty Connect's claim to fame is a lot less cable loss. And then, well, they would bring their connectivity inside in the past over USB and now over Ethernet to go to a router indoors. Now, there's a lot to love about Insty Connect, but one of the things we've never really liked was that you were kind of tied to their indoor router because their past solutions required USB to connect to the outdoor unit, which limited you to about 30 feet of cable length because that's all that USB can do. USB has a top speed that 5G is starting to be able to outrun, and most importantly, it required Insty Connect's indoor router, which was not a very full-featured router that for people who have more complex connectivity situations and who want to combine multiple connections together, would often be drawn to a more advanced router like a peplink, or maybe just a home router or some other router that had better fit their indoor needs. But now, Insty Connect is going to begin offering an Ethernet version using a new power over Ethernet modem module that can mount inside their antennas that will let you connect over Ethernet, so over a much longer distance. You can potentially have over 100 feet of cable if you really needed it. Doesn't have a speed limit that USB would impose. The Ethernet connection could be a gigabit connection. And most importantly, it's Ethernet, so you can connect it to any router and just use it as an upstream WAN. So we've begun testing it using the Insty Connect as an additional modem input into a peplink router like this Max VR2. So this suddenly makes the Insty Connect, instead of just something kind of a simple connectivity solution for people who want some really great long-range connectivity but who don't need to combine lots of connections together, the Insty Connect becomes a great tool in your connectivity arsenal, and that's what we're going to be focusing on and looking at going forward. So what is new with Insty Connect? We know their basic differentiator is the unit on the roof and the unit indoors. They've got 2 new roof-mounted units that are new to the market. This first up is going to be kind of their new default main antenna, and this is called the Insty Squared, replacing their older Cloud Wings design with this new kind of square rectangular system that you can put onto your roof, or it actually now comes with a ladder mount. So you see it is basically they 3D print their cases, and you see this Insty Connect system here, and inside pop off the bottom lid and this hole for the cable to go through, and you see their modem module inside. And they've actually sized this and designed this so that you can fit either their older USB style modem module, so if you're upgrading, which they have upgrade plans, or you've got the new POE style modem module, which is wider, and then you attach the 4 little antenna elements that are distributed around inside of this Insty Squared thing. Stick it inside here, plug in this case, an Ethernet cable. If you have the older modem, it'd be a USB cable. Put the cap back on and put it on and mount this. And they say this has got better reception, better capabilities, and, well, I think it also looks a bit better than their old Insty Cloud Wings. Now, their mounting system is similar to what they had before. They still have this roof mount that you can mount onto the top of your RV, this little pole, and the Insty Connect thing can slide on top of it. And if you already have this pole from a prior Insty Connect system that you're upgrading, a Cloud Wings, you can continue to reuse your old pole. This is an optional add-on, though, with the new Insty Squared. Instead, what it has is this ladder mount system that can go either onto a cross pole or a vertical pole. So it's really easy to mount into a lot of existing systems, or to a pole that you might want to be able to raise up for extra height. So just clamp it with these two pieces and slide your Insty Connect onto it, and you have a system mounted. Now, this does look a little bit like some directional panel antennas that we have covered in the past. This is actually an omnidirectional antenna, so you do not need to worry about aiming it when you get to a given location. If aiming is your goal, then Insty Connect's actually got a different antenna that they sell as an accessory. So you buy an Insty Squared, and then you can buy as an add-on accessory what they're calling the Switchblade. So this is not replacement for the Insty Connect binoculars. There are other 4x4 MIMO long-range directional antenna. This is a new version they say performs almost as well as binoculars, but it is a fraction of the size. So their old binocular setup would take a lot of storage space and really wasn't practical for a lot of RVers to carry around, because these sort of directional antennas, you don't leave them mounted all the time. You put them up a pole when you're someplace where you might need to focus on a signal that's far away and directional. So this new design is almost as good as the binoculars, they say, and, well, it's more compact. So it looks kind of like something from a outer space. Let's take it off the pole here. And yeah, it looks like something out of The Last Starfighter or Star Wars or whatnot, because it's got these wings. And the wings mean it can kind of fold flat for storage. And then when you're ready to put it up the pole, you could put the wings out to their deployed position like this. This is what they consider the deployed position ideal for T-Mobile and T-Mobile's low band band N71 signal. And they actually have instructions for you to mount the bottom antennas here facing up. So you've kind of got a different wing orientation when you're connecting to AT&T or T-Mobile, depending on which signal you want to optimize for the best reception at longest range. So it's interesting to have that variety. And you see these antenna cables coming down, they go to the exact same modem module that would go into the Insty Squared. So you take the module out of the Squared and put it into the Last Starfighter here, the Switchblade, and attach the antennas, and then put it up here, pop the Ethernet cable into it, and put this up a pole. Now, they have two interesting ways to mount it on the pole. You see the kind of angle here where you can just use cable clamps or zip ties to attach it to a pole that you can then raise up and aim. Or they also have on the bottom a hole with a threaded top, so that you can just use a generic painter's pole or broom handle and just screw this on, and you're all set to march in a parade or get better signal from a long distance. And directional antennas do often have a very good fundamental advantage. If you go through the hassle of aiming them, they're not listening to all the extra noise in various directions, and they can really often deliver some quite impressive performance. Downside is the aiming hassle and the extra setup time involved. But Insty Connect is kind of making a whole kit that you can tune into either omnidirectional when you everyday wear, and directional when you're out in the desert or someplace remote trying to get the best signal from afar. So we're quite intrigued by this. We've already tested it here inside a room and have been impressed by the performance we'll see, and we'll be mounting it on our van and mounting this on our van and comparing it to a more traditional indoor router and external antenna setup in the near future. So our members will be able to stay tuned to those testing results in our member forums. So Insty Connect is still going to be offering their existing USB-powered modem that has been on the market for a while. It is a Qualcomm X62-based 5G modem with a whole lot of capabilities. It's fairly equivalent to, it's actually, I think, the exact same modem module that even Peplink is using in their newest router. So it's quite a capable modem module. But now they're going to be offering it as a power over Ethernet version in addition to the USB version. So both of these devices can take both style modem modules. So if you're upgrading or have old hardware and you want to switch, you can now switch to this new power over Ethernet version that has the 4 antenna ports and an Ethernet port, and the USB port is kind of no longer needed in this. The power over Ethernet version is just kind of redundant there. And then you connect this over an Ethernet cable of as long as you like. I think they include options of various lengths when you're ordering from Insty Connect, but run the Ethernet cable, run it inside. They give you a power over Ethernet injector. So you plug the Ethernet cable from the Insty Connect outside into this side of the power over Ethernet injector, plug in their power supply into the other side of the power over Ethernet injector, and they'll include both direct wire to 12 volt and an AC power supply, depending on how you want to power it. And then plug the other side of this into your router of any sort, however you want to share the connection, or you can plug it directly into a laptop or anything else. And that is online. You doesn't generate a Wi-Fi hotspot. That's what your own router does, but it means you have the flexibility of plugging it into a WAN port on an existing indoor router setup that you have. So that is a whole lot of flexibility, and it's just a great way to bring the Insty Connect into an existing system, whatever you have. To control the Insty Connect, they've actually written custom firmware that runs on the modem module as a web page. So you'd go to a web page and can adjust which bands you connect to. So the Insty Connect's band locking features have always been quite compelling. So you can adjust which band and even lock into different cell towers. So it's got some controls that you can do by going to that. The modem module has 2 SIM slots, so you can have 2 SIM cards at the ready and that you could change between remotely. So you can have perhaps your AT&T plan and a T-Mobile plan, or a Verizon plan and a Dish plan, or other combination like that you could change to remotely, because changing the SIM cards requires basically taking everything apart. So definitely something that is a hassle if you're trying to switch between multiple carriers. So that is the new POE solution. We think it makes the Insty Connect a lot more flexible. And they're actually, because they recognize people are going to be interested in this and not want to buy the indoor Insty Connect router, you can actually order an Insty Squared without their own router and save $200. So that is a compelling thing. If you don't want to use their router, you can go without and bring your own system together. So now the pricing of the systems, and this is one of the places where Insty Connect shines, is because their pricing is pretty aggressive compared to a lot of the more enterprise-focused or higher-end systems out there. And the pricing starts with the Insty Squared system, their own router, and the USB version of the modem. The kit is $799. If you want the Insty Squared, their router, and the POE modem, which has got kind of more future flexibility, $899. Or you can get the Insty Squared with no router and the POE modem here for $699. So that's a pretty compelling pricing there for a 5G X62 system that has theoretically a very little cable loss and can deliver great performance by mounting it high up on the roof. Now, they also sell the Switchblade. They don't sell this separately. This is basically an accessory. So there's normal price for the Switchblade is $399. And then if you do want their higher performance 4x4 binoculars, that's $449. And then you just would take your modem module out of your Insty Squared and transplant that over to the other system whenever you're setting up for a directional setup. Now, the other new thing that Insty Connect has is they actually now have their own data plan that they're going to start offering. And actually, all of their systems will ship with 2 SIM cards with their own data plan pre-provisioned in a demo trial mode, so you can try it out. Their plan is on T-Mobile's network and is a interesting way to at least get a chance to test out T-Mobile and decide whether the Insty Connect plan works for you or you want to go direct with the carriers, because their system will work with basically anybody if you bring your own SIMs. But if you want to keep it simple, you can go with their plans. And they even have some interesting options that they're working on with a plan that will be in standby mode for very, very cheap monthly fees, so that you can keep connected with just minimal access for if you're leaving an RV behind for a while and stuff. So they've got some interesting things on the data plan front. That's all still kind of new, but we have their data plan provisioned. We've got the Insty Connect POE system, and we're going to be setting it up in our van and doing a bunch of hands-on testing and seeing what we think of it. But in the past, we've been impressed with Insty Connect, and we're eager to see how all these new toys work out and put them to the test. So stay tuned, members. Stay tuned in the member forums for our hands-on testing notes, and we'll keep you posted on how these all work out.
These videos are brought to you by our premium members, our mobile internet aficionados. They make it possible for us to track this news and create these videos. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, subscribe to our channel, or better yet, consider becoming a member yourself.